Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self-improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We'll also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 254 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, all outside, burying the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this time frame. Now, this is my second year ever running. Within the first full year of running, at the age of 31, I was able to run 1,002 miles, and I did that within 175 days out of the year. So me going for 1,500 miles is over a 50% increase in the amount of miles as opposed to last year, and me going for 365 days is over a 100% increase in the amount of days as opposed to the amount of days I ran last year. Not to mention, this year is all days in a row with no days off. I've also challenged myself to run two big major races within this time frame. One of those races being a 50K trail race, which I got finished on June 5th, 2021, day 156 of my journey. That was the Yankee Springs 50K trail race. I got that finished within 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. So I am officially an ultra runner. But now the next big race on the agenda coming up here, it's coming up in October. It is the Detroit Free Press Marathon. I'll be running the Motor City Challenge of that race, which entails me running a competitive 1 mile, a competitive 5K, and then the next day after running those two races, actually going out there and running the actually official marathon. I am really looking forward to that race. Like I said, it is coming up here in about a month and a week. So really excited about that, trying to really focus in on the mileage, building up to that, and just have my body honed in and ready for that race. Other than that, let's quickly talk actual mileage for the day today. So today was day, like I said, 254. I got out there and put in 3.5 miles for the day, which put me at 28.5 miles for the week, which put me at 51.8 miles for the month, which put me at 1,164.9 miles for the year. Let's focus on these monthly miles. Every single month I challenge myself to a 100-mile challenge, and I do it in honor of a charity in which I donate money to, and I also start a coinciding fundraiser to try to raise money and awareness for that charity as well throughout that month. So for the first 8 months, I was able to raise money for 8 great charities. We were able to raise money. Now we're sitting here within the 9th month, the month of September, and yet again, we were raising money for another great charity. This month's 100-mile monthly challenge in September is in honor of the National Rise Syndrome Foundation. We chose that charity because September is Rise Syndrome Awareness Month. So if you guys would like to donate to this month's fundraiser, you can find the link to do so on the Defining Discipline Instagram story or the Defining Discipline Facebook story or my personal page's Instagram or Facebook story. Within those stories, click on the link. It'll take you to the page where you're able to make your donations. All donations that get made to this fundraiser go directly to this fundraiser. Facebook is not taking any cut or any portion of that. It is all going to this cause in this actual foundation. I do know times are tough, though. Not everyone is able to donate or can afford to, and if that is the case, do not feel bad. The next best thing you could do if you truly like to help out is just click that share button and ask other people as well to share it. We're trying to raise awareness for these causes, and the best way to do that is get as many people's eyes on it as possible. So you guys helping by sharing this fundraiser, it truly goes a long, long way. If you actually did donate, it still helps out even more, again, to donate and share. But either or, if you just do one, that's still great too. Other than that, guys, I'm getting real tired. I'm trying to fight some sleep here to get this episode done. So this episode is probably be a little bit shorter. I originally anticipated, but hey, that's okay. Before we get into today's actual episode, though, we're going to quickly do the word of the day. And today's word of the day is sedentary. Sedentary describes an activity in which much sitting is involved. That is today's word of the day for September 11th, 2021. And for today's actual episode on September 11th, 2021, day 254 of this journey. Episode 254, today's theme is going to be remembrance. And I think you can maybe tell why, because today is the actual 20 year anniversary of September 11th, 2001, which was such a big, huge, significant day within our history. It completely changed how the world has turned out since. So it's such a big, big, big part of our history, and to really kind of remember what truly happened, and or maybe we'll never know what truly happened. We're not going down that road at all. We're just remembering what actually happened that day. It was a very confusing, sad day. I remember being fairly young in middle school when it happened, being in class, and them not really wanting to send us home because they weren't sure if the attacks were going to continue on American soil throughout the country. They didn't know what the targets truly were. So I just remember they kind of holding us in class until our parents came and picked us up from school, and we kind of just spent the rest of the day at home just watching the TV, waiting anxiously to see what was going to happen. That was the first time in a long time that we something like that, especially of that magnitude, happened here on American soil, and it was again just so unbelievable. Like we truly weren't ready for it. Especially me, and I remember being, like I said, fairly young, where I really couldn't understand the repercussions of what happened, and I understood what was going on was not a good thing, but I remember thinking at the time I really wasn't even sure what the World Trade Center was about. I mean, obviously it's the World Trade Center, but I didn't get it's tied to the financial world or anything like that. It was just a strange time for me, and to really try to understand what was going on when that happened, it was very, very confusing. But today, again, we're just kind of keeping it short and just talking about, the anniversary of 9/11, and kind of remembering what we were doing on that day. That's all kind of today I wanted to do, was just think back to, that's what I kind of did. I didn't want to talk about it, but thinking back to it when I was earlier, realizing it was 9/11, and thinking back, hey, I vividly remember what happened. It was so confusing, scary time, and it's an awful, awful thing that happened. But we are here now, 20 years later. We are here on the anniversary, thinking back and talking about it. I've seen a lot of posts today in honor of it. So thank you for all the firefighters and policemen and all those heroes out there, especially on that day, that were able to help out and save. And it's crazy to really truly think about how it affected a lot of our lives throughout here in America. It's affected a lot of people's lives on a huge level, especially like I said, the repercussions since has affected a lot in a lot of people's lives. But it's so crazy to think about the lives that it actually affected, like there within the city of New York, the families whose dads or moms were in that building when that happened and didn't make it out. And it's such a crazy thing to truly kind of think about, and a sad thing. So again, we're going to kind of cut this episode short, just because I am super tired, and it is actually past midnight now. We got to get this uploaded. Had a long day, but got the run in earlier. So guys, for your daily discipline today, it is to really remember. It's about remembrance, about thinking back on this day. And maybe if you're too young to think back on this day, just kind of think back and try to study how significant this day was throughout human, or not human, but American history. Um, so thank you guys so much for following along. Episode 254 is in the books. Didn't want to really, again, kind of overshadow 9/11 today, so I wanted to keep the episode kind of short and about 9/11 to begin with. But it has gotten so late, so we're keeping it a little bit shorter than planned. But tomorrow, hopefully, we're going to get back into a more substantial, meaty episode. So today was episode 254, day 254 in a row, guys. This is the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. If you guys can, please give the podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, and a share on our Facebook, our TikTok, our YouTube, our Instagram, whatever podcast streaming platform you guys have been following along on and listening. And until tomorrow, episode 255, I'll see you guys then. And until then, peace out.